Well, I think that patients and citizens of Oklahoma, when they get cancer, are looking for the highest quality and cutting-edge care. And usually that means a place which is integrated research and education into the patient care, and it was bringing the latest therapies to the patient population. And one of the reasons that people leave the state is because of the perception that we don't have the most advanced cancer care available here in the state. So the National Cancer Institute designates cancer centers based upon a continuum of care, research all the way through patient care, and models of care using patient-centered care, multidisciplinary care. And getting a designation as a National Cancer Institute designated cancer center means that you've kind of got the good housekeeping seal of approval. You have integrated those types of strategies into your patient care activity. And I think once that happens, patients will feel more comfortable staying in Oklahoma for their cancer care. Cancer is a very complex disease, and it takes a comprehensive solution. And that solution isn't just directly the surgery or the radiation or the chemotherapy that's given against the cancer. It's also spiritual support, nutritional support, physical therapy, impact upon the family, need for social workers. It's already hard enough to get a diagnosis of cancer. What we need to do is create a network of support surrounding the patient so they not only get a treatment program, they get a supportive care program. In 2002, 2001, the state legislature passed a resolution calling upon the University of Oklahoma to create an institute for cancer care in the state of Oklahoma. Now, our mission statement is very simple, and that is to raise the level of cancer care for all Oklahomans through education and research. So it's not just about patients or people being taken care of in a specific building or even on this campus. It's for all Oklahoma citizens. It's through creating partnerships and relationships that will elevate that level of care. By making clinical trials more available to all Oklahomans, by increasing our level of education for healthcare givers, physicians, nurses, as well as patients. And so we've taken that mandate from the legislature seriously, and that's what our biggest challenge is. Now, to do that, you need capital, and you need an operational framework, and you need people that can fill that operational framework. And we've had to work on all three. Generous giving here in Oklahoma has resulted in an endowment campaign. Over $30 million in private donations have been given to the Cancer Institute in the past 2 years. The state legislature and the citizens of Oklahoma through the tobacco tax and House Bill 713 have funded the building that's going up across the street. That's going to be a 7-story, 210,000 square foot building which will house all the cancer activity for the campus in one location. And finally, it's through recruiting new physicians and new researchers to the state of Oklahoma that will allow us to use the investment that the state has made in the building and the infrastructure wisely. Sure, we have just announced the recruitment of Dr. Dennis Akaran. He's a researcher from Temple University in Philadelphia, and he's one of the nation's leading researchers in cancer. As a matter of fact, he has a portfolio of over $1 million a year in federal funding because of the quality of research that he does. He'll be coming here and become our deputy director for the Cancer Institute. What allowed us to recruit him here were, number one, outstanding facilities that have been built on this campus, and then number two, generous donations by the Noble Foundation, which allowed us to create a research chair for cancer biology. And that combination, that public-private partnership, allowed us to recruit one of the top individuals in the country. In order for a Cancer Institute to be successful, we have to grow our own ideas. And that's what research is all about. And so seed grants, the analogy is it's a seed, and we have to grow that in our own soil. And you do that through providing some funds for local investigators to mature their ideas to the point where they can then apply for federal funds. Now, the federal funds can be through the National Cancer Institute or the National Institute of Health. They can be through the Centers for Disease Control, or they can be through organizations like the American Cancer Society or the Susan B. Komen Foundation. And we've been successful getting grants from all of those organizations here recently. Unfortunately, the funding for the National Institute of Health and the National Cancer Institute has been flat for the past several years. And that has eroded some of the research infrastructure nationwide. So I do think it will be a top priority for this country to look at increasing the funding through the National Cancer Institute to ensure that we maintain our lead in cancer research worldwide. Once again, remember, we're talking about a disease that kills more people than any other disease for people under the age of 85. We're talking about a disease that strikes 1 in 2 Oklahoma men and 1 in 3 Oklahoma women. We're talking about a disease that still kills nearly 40% of the people that are afflicted by it. So we have a long ways to go before we can rest and say that we've conquered this illness. And the way you do that is through high-quality research. And so we have 2 components to that. One is expanding the research portfolio that we have available here on campus, particularly in those types of therapies and drugs which are very cutting edge and can only be done at one place in the state. Those are called phase 1 trials. Oklahoma desperately needs a phase 1 center so that the very newest and avant-garde type therapies can be done here in Oklahoma. We are establishing a phase 1 study center here. The second type of research that we need to be supportive of is research that can be done in the community in a partnership between the university and the oncology physicians that exist in the community. And towards that end, we've created a consortium called the Oklahoma Cancer Consortium, which is a partnership between the OU Cancer Institute and physicians in the community, cancer care associates and others that allow us to bring more research protocols to more patients throughout Oklahoma, not just those that live here in Oklahoma City or those that go to our institute. Oklahoma is a rural state, and over 50% of our patients come from more than 50 miles away. That's a big burden. And in a rural state where there's a lot of travel time, it becomes very difficult for patients to find a place to stay while they're receiving therapy. Therapy may be a prolonged surgery or a medical therapy or radiation therapy. It may take 6 to 8 weeks where a person is going to need lodging. We have plans for creating on-site lodging for both adults and children through a partnership with the American Cancer Society and Allie's House. American Cancer Society has a program called Hope Lodge, and Hope Lodge is adult facilities where adults can stay free of charge. And Allie's House is a vision of doing a similar type thing for kids with cancer. I think that I'm frequently asked, why does Oklahoma need a cancer institute? Why does Oklahoma need to invest the time and the resources and energy to create a level of excellence in cancer care? And my reply is it would be unacceptable to ask that question about a football team. It would be unacceptable to ask that question about higher education. Why are we asking that question about the most deadly disease that we deal with? You know, Oklahomans deserve the best cancer care, and they deserve to have it here in their state. It should not be required for them to leave our state to receive high-quality, cutting-edge cancer research and cancer care. And so I think the state of Oklahoma has spoken through their legislature, through the laws that have been passed, through the tobacco tax, and it's up to us now to create the framework that the citizens of Oklahoma can be proud of.